What's up guys, Mr. Ivan, it's me here, Uncanny, or some of you may know me as Nigel Kang's best friend. Anyway, and today I'm gonna talk about a mythical figure from Ghana, and his name is Anansi. Some of you may know him as Mr. Nancy in... Okay, so Anansi, also known as Anansi the Spider. He's a very unique god to me, because he's the god of all knowledge and stories. Whenever he wants someone to do something for him, he will tell them a story to lure them into doing his bidding. Yeah, he's extremely cunning. Back in the old days of Ghana, he would constantly tell story to inspire resistance to fight against oppression. Yeah, because back in the day, a lot of outside forces tries to invade Ghana, and by outside forces I mean white people. Yeah, that's actually how Anansi's story was able to travel from Ghana to the United States. And unfortunately, the ways that it travels was through the slave trade. Yeah, slaves would tell each other stories of Anansi, you know, trying to keep their morals up or their hope up, so that someone or something could save them from the slaver. Now, enough of his backstory. It's time for a story. At first, there was no stories in the world, and the world was a boring place for Anansi because there was no stories for him to tell. The only stories there is it's being haunted by Anansi's father, Naume. Naume is also known as the sky god, the god that created the world that Anansi currently live in. And Anansi is dead set on getting that stories from his father. He climbed to the sky with his silk because he's a spider. Anansi asked if he could get the box from his father and share it to the people, so the people could enjoy the story while learning from its wisdom. His father didn't want the stories to be released, but since the sky god himself was impressed by the way that Anansi had approached him, the sky god assigned Anansi with what he thought was an impossible task. He wanted Anansi to capture him 3 most fearsome creatures on the planet. The first creature is a python named Onini. He would sit outside of the python's lair and he would pretend to argue with himself. When he caught the attention of the python, he then explains that he and his fake wife was having an argument. His fake wife thinks that the snake is shorter than the stick, while Anansi himself thinks that the snake is longer than the stick. And in order to prove to Anansi's fake wife that she's wrong, the python himself wrapped around the stick, right? And he was struggling while wrapping himself around the stick. And so Anansi approached him and offered to tie him up on the stick so that he wouldn't struggle so much. And that's how Anansi had captured the first creature. Next was Osobor, the leopard, whose strength was legendary. Anansi dug a deep pit right next to the Osobor when he sleeps. And when he woke up, he fell into that pit. And then Anansi would show up and, "Oh my god, you need help, mate! Let me help you out!" And the leopard accepted his offer, his help. And so he would grab onto Anansi's spider silk and he would start to and climbed up, right? But the higher he got, the more struggle he gets. And the more he struggles, the more he gets entangled in Anansi's spider web. And so when he reached the top, he was already wrapped in Anansi's spider web, and therefore he can't move. And that's how Anansi had captured the second creature. Next up, it's the Marlboro Deadly Hornets. Now Anansi would cut a small hole of this and put it on the ground, and then he would pour water all over himself and flooded half of the hornet's nest, ruining it. Then all the angry hornets, they would fly out and confront Anansi about it, right? And then Anansi would be like, "Oh my god, you guys are so lucky! Man, the rain just came in earlier, so hey, why don't you guys just hide into that fruit, man? It's safe. It's perfectly safe down there. I certainly did not set a trap. I certainly did not." and the hornets, they would fly in, and obviously it's a trap. So all the hornets, they were entrapped into that inside of that fruit, and that's how Anansi had captured the third creature. Anansi went back to his dad, the sky god, man, and he presented all three creatures in front of him, and I tell you, man, that dude was surprised, man. He thought his stupid little spider son couldn't do shit, but man, he was able to capture all three creatures, man. My boy is smart, man. Anyway, the sky god himself was surprised, and he thought about what Anansi had said before, and he realized that stories and wisdom will be the best if it's shared to everyone, and that's what he did. The sky god, he threw the box of stories and wisdom out from the sky, and it shattered on the ground. The wisdom and stories then dispersed in the water and in the wind to anyone that wants it. And that is why everyone has wisdom, but no one has it all. And that's one of the most well-known story of Anansi. I hope you guys enjoy this little story. If you guys want to know more about Anansi, feel free to watch American Gods. The actor Orlando Jones, he portrayed Anansi, I would say, perfectly. So that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.